I say, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. In this moment across our nation, we witness a full-on attack on hard-won, hard-fought freedom.
Netanyahu's handling of that war. President Biden and Netanyahu meeting in the Oval Office earlier today. Netanyahu thanking the president for his support, even amid this strained relationship. President Biden urging Netanyahu to accept the ceasefire deal on the table and bring the remaining hostages home. Mary Hoops at the White House.
Tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris, the presumptive Democratic nominee, meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House. Face-to-face amid growing tension in recent weeks over Netanyahu's handling of the war, the administration urging the Prime Minister to accept the ceasefire deal on the table and bring the remaining hostages home. Moments ago, the Vice President coming before cameras.
I've said it many times, but it bears repeating. Israel has a right to defend itself, and how it does so matters.
Earlier, the Prime Minister also sitting down with President Biden.
I say, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on.
The first big solo decision of Kamala Harris's new campaign could be less than 2 weeks away. It's one of the most accelerated vice presidential searches in modern American history. Chicago, some of the biggest battlegrounds, like Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona, a former astronaut and Navy pilot, Governor Roy Cooper of North Carolina, a former Attorney General elected 6 times statewide, in Pennsylvania, Governor Josh Shapiro, another former Attorney General, who was won statewide 3 times. Also on the list, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, a 2020 rival who now calls Michigan home. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, a veteran and former teacher who served more than a decade in Congress, and Governor Amy Beshear of Kentucky, a rare Democrat elected in a deep red state. The search is well underway, through private vetting and somewhat public auditions.
This is the Vice President's 15th trip to the most military and veteran-friendly state in the country.
Harris has a long relationship with Cooper. Biography, biography, or other personal factors weigh on her decision. On Capitol Hill this week, Kelly was not eager to talk about any vice presidential shortlist. Again, this is Buttigieg, less so.
I think anybody would be flattered to be mentioned in that context, no matter what. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that she's done.
I say, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Because every little girl watching tonight sees that this is a
Abortion, laying blame squarely on former President Donald Trump.
Donald Trump is the architect of this healthcare crisis.
Harris was supposed to be in Arizona for an event about student debt, but we focused it to be about abortion.
Here's what a second Trump term looks like. More bans, more suffering, and less freedom.
The former president has said the Arizona ruling in favor of the 1864-year total ban went too far, vowing not to sign a federal abortion ban.
What we did was give it back to the states, and now the states are working their way through it.
But in Arizona, Dr. Paul Isaacson's patients are already confused.
Care is just so necessary to provide the type of autonomy to women that men have enjoyed historically.
He says his office has been inundated with calls.
I say, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on.
It is we who are working to lift up the people of America. We're clear about this. You know, when you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for. We are clear. It is we who are intent on lifting up the people of our nation. And ours is a fight for the future. And it is a fight for freedom. Generations of Americans before us led the fight for freedom. And now, the baton is in our hands. It's in our hands. We, who believe in the sacred freedom to vote, will finally pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. We who believe that every person in our nation should have the freedom to live safe from the terror of gun violence will finally pass universal. Reproductive freedom will stop Donald Trump's extreme.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
And I'm just going off script for a second. So here's the thing. Think about it. You know, there's so much about what we have prided ourselves in about our country in terms of progress. Understanding that one of the defining components of that progress is the expansion of rights. Mm-hmm. And we are seeing a full-on agenda that is now about restricting rights. And one of the most fundamental rights, the right to make decisions about your own body.
Yes.
Yeah. Think about that. And if there are those who dare to take the freedom to make such a fundamental decision for an individual, which is about one's own body, what other freedoms could be on the table for the taking? Or a country of chaos, fear, and hate.
No.
And the beauty of our democracy is that each one of us has the power to answer that question. And the power, then I say, is with the people. The power is with the people. So in 101 days, which is November 5th, let us be clear-eyed. We have a fight ahead of us. We got to fight ahead of us. And we are the underdogs in this race. Okay? Level set. We're the underdogs in this race. But this is a people power campaign. And we have momentum. The day after I announced my candidacy, we saw the best 24 hours of grassroots fundraising in presidential campaign history.
In this moment, we are in a fight for our most fundamental freedoms. And to this room of leaders, I say, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on.
We supported Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as the leaders best prepared to lead our country out of crisis and to a brighter future. They have created the strongest economic recovery in our lifetimes. They've restored integrity to the White House. This is the most pro-labor, pro-worker, pro-family, pro-public education administration in our history. opportunity to make history again. Kamala Harris has led the fight for our freedoms, to make our own decisions about our own bodies, to live safe from gun violence, and the freedom to join a union. Kamala Harris fights for a future where every person has the opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead. So, the Vice President is right behind us. I told her earlier that her entry into the race has electrified this race and has electrified this hall. So, my friends, we all know there's a lot of teachers in this hall, so we all know a lot about assignments. So, my friends, my siblings, do you understand our assignment? Are we going to go full throttle through November 5th? Are we going to shatter every record for voter turnout? And are we going to elect Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States? So, let me introduce one of our own members, Brittany Shoop, you do that, who's going to introduce the Vice President.
When I found out I was going to introduce Vice President Harris. As a special education teacher, I had heard about the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Unfortunately, what I had heard was that during the last administration, most people who applied for it didn't get it. The Biden-Harris administration fixed PSLF and made the process easy. So I applied and later had my student loans forgiven. This is a huge weight off my shoulders, and now I help my fellow teachers get the debt forgiveness they deserve. Vice President Harris fights for us. And as president, she will fight for a better life for all Americans. And now it is my honor to introduce the first woman to be elected Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Please have a seat. Please have a seat. If you have a seat, please have a seat. It is good to be in the House of Labor. Thank you. My goodness. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you all. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Can we hear it for Brittany, please? Thank you all. Economic policies before. But we are not going back. We are not going back. No, we will move forward. And one of the best ways to keep our nation moving forward is to give workers a voice, to protect the freedom to organize, to defend the freedom to collectively bargain, to end union busting. As head of the White House Labor Task Force, I have led our work to eliminate barriers to organizing in both public and private sectors, including for teachers. But there is more that we must do. President Joe Biden and I promised to sign the PRO Act into law, and I promise you I will keep that promise. Because when workers join together and demand what is fair, everyone is better off. Understand, and I say this everywhere I go, understand, you may not be a union member, but you should thank unions, and I'm looking to the cameras in the back of the room. Not them, but the people who might be watching. You may not be a union member, but thank unions for the 5-day work week. For the 8-hour workday. Thank unions for sick leave and paid family leave and vacation time. Because the fact is, unions helped build America's middle class. And when unions are strong, America is strong. So AFT, ours is a fight for the future. And ours is a fight for freedom. In this moment across our nation, we witness a full-on attack on hard-won, hard-fought freedoms. While you teach students about democracy and representative government, extremists attack the sacred freedom to vote. While you try to create safe and welcoming places where our children can learn, extremists attack our freedom to live safe from gun violence. They have the nerve to tell teachers to strap on a gun in the classroom, while they refuse to pass common sense gun safety laws. And while you teach students about our nation's past, these extremists attack the freedom to learn and acknowledge our nation's true and full history, including book bans. Book bans in this year of our Lord 2024. And on these last two issues, just think about it. So we want to ban assault weapons, and they want to ban books. Can you imagine? All the while, these extremists also attack the freedom to love who you love openly and with pride.
Yesterday it seemed the world was about to end.
They passed so-called Don't Say Gay laws. Now I have to tell you, so many of you may know, in 2004, on Valentine's Day weekend, I was one of the first elected officials in the country to perform same-sex marriage. So here's the thing. It pains me so to think 20 years later that there are some young teachers in their 20s who are afraid to put up a photograph of themselves and their partner for fear they could lose their job. And what is their job? The most noble of work, teaching other people's children. And God knows we don't pay you enough as it is. In this moment, we are in a fight for our most fundamental freedoms. And to this room of leaders, I say, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Because here's the thing. We believe in our country. We believe in its promise of freedom. And the American people believe in the promise of freedom. So we are in the fight. We who believe in the freedom to vote will pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act and the Freedom to Vote Act. We who believe in the freedom to live safe from gun violence will pass an assault weapons ban. We who believe that every American should be free from bigotry and hate will fight to protect our teachers and our students from discrimination and make sure every student can learn America's history. And we who believe in reproductive freedom will restore the freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government telling her what to do. So AFT, that's right, bring it on. So ultimately, in this moment, I know we all know, we each in our country face a question. That question being, what kind of country do we want to live in? A country of freedom, compassion, and rule of law, or a country of chaos, fear, and hate. The beauty of our democracy is that we each have the power to answer that question when we vote. And when we vote, we make our voices heard. So today I ask you, AFT, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you and God bless the United States of America. say fundamental freedom. Bring it on. And to this room of leaders, bring it on. I say, bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. So today I ask you, AFT, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you and God bless the United States of America. I say, bring it on.